as a developer myself, do I want to release a game on a brand new system that only has a small current user base, or do I want to release it on an old system, but there's maybe 60 million people out there with units in their hands? You would think it would be easier to sell more copies to those 60 million people, but in the launch window of a new console, people are more likely to buy games for that new console because they, want to try out their shiny new hardware. We saw that with, for example, brand new 3DS games tanking in sales after the Switch, and every time there was a new 3DS game announced, there was outcry of, okay, yeah, it looks great, but I don't want to buy a 3DS game, I want to buy a Switch game. Why didn't they release this on Switch? My prime example of that would be Yoshi's Woolly World, or Yoshi and Poochie's Woolly World, I think it was called. I love Yoshi's Woolly World on the Wii U. I think it's one of the greatest platform games that Nintendo have ever made, and that's saying something because they've made excellent platformers over the years, many of the all-time classics, obviously, but it's one of those games that's sadly stuck on the Wii U. Almost every big game on the Wii U got a conversion to the Switch one, but for some reason Yoshi's Woolly World hasn't, although there are strong rumors that the Switch 2 will get a version. But having the Switch existing as a console, but then having the port or the re-release that everybody was wanting be released on the 3DS, and in some ways therefore being downgraded because of the lower resolution, etc., it seemed to defy logic. Although there was a very large install base for the 3DS, the last few games that released on it really didn't sell very many copies. So as a developer, you've got to think about that when you're releasing a new system. Do you want to release on the Switch because it has a larger, in theory, customer base? Do you want to release on the Switch 2? Because it's the latest and greatest, and many of the old customers from the Switch 1 will have upgraded to the Switch 2, so they'll be wanting to buy only Switch 2 games. Or, if it's backwards compatible, can you release for the Switch 1, but market it heavily as this plays really well on the Switch 2? That's, something which was a heavy consideration for me, and as I say, unfortunately there's some issues with third parties, but we'll get into that later.
Hello friends, you've stumbled across a short clip from the Daily Switch 2 podcast. Please give it a like. If you'd like to hear more, click subscribe, and you can find all the ways to listen to and support the full daily podcast at linktree/Daily Switch 2. Let's go! Did I sound like I mean that? I do. I really do.